SCP-3650. Object Class, Safe. Special Containment Procedures. SCP-3650 is held inside of a standard containment locker on Site-19. Research personnel are not permitted to look at both sides of any instance of SCP-3650. D-Class personnel may only be shown both sides of an instance of SCP-3650 during scheduled testing. The containment locker may only be opened with written permission from the active senior researcher. SCP-3650 may not leave Site-19. After the results of test number 12, subjects under the effects of SCP-3650 must be physically restrained. Ttt Description. SCP-3650 is a collection of 10.16 x 7.62 cm Polaroid photographs, SCP-3650-1, depicting various landscapes. Poems, specifically 5-7-5 haiku, are written in red ink on the back of each instance. Every picture is signed Ramsey, who is presumably responsible for the photographs, the poems, or both. All photographs are devoid of persons. The anomalous effects of SCP-3650 trigger when a human is exposed to both sides of an instance. At this point, subjects feel a strong compulsion to go to the exact place where the photograph was taken, using all resources available to them. Subjects will also leave items at the location, such as coats, food, and books. Exposure to one side of an SCP-3650 instance does not trigger the anomaly. Researchers hypothesize that this is due to a memetic agent embedded in SCP-3650 instances. Research into this theory is still ongoing. The Foundation is currently in possession of 12 instances, but it is possible that more instances exist. Recovery logs. Recovery I. Close log. One instance of SCP-3650 was found during an investigation into Gary Dalton, who disappeared while climbing the mountain K2. People close to Dalton confirm that he assembled his team and equipment hastily, which they expect led to an accident during the ascent. Recovery II. Close log. 3 instances of SCP-3650 were recovered during a raid of a Marshall, Carter, and Dark transaction. These instances were marketed as exotic travel opportunities to customers with enough resources to make the trip in a timely manner. After interrogating the salesperson in charge of the transaction, the Foundation received leads on 2 more SCP-3650 instances, which were recovered, as well as the origin of SCP-3650. MTF Mu-5, travel agents, was sent to investigate. Recovery III. Close log. 6 instances of SCP-3650 were recovered as part of MTF Mu-5's investigation into the anomaly's origins, which led to deceased author Ernest Glint. Ernest Glint committed suicide on March 23, 2015 after killing his newlywed wife and her dog, according to local law enforcement. Her body has not yet been found. The 6 instances were confiscated from the police's evidence locker. They were found in an album at the scene of the crime with honeymoon memories written on the front in red marker. Test logs. These are brief summaries of SCP-3650 instances. Personnel should ask Dr. Relic for access to the remainder of the tests. Note, due to the nature of SCP-3650, each test will contain either the picture, or the haiku and a description of the picture. Test log 02, close log, poem, twisting sands for miles, blasting outer castle walls, until the tide falls. Picture, the beach of Cape May, New Jersey. There is moderate cloud cover, so the sun cannot be seen in the picture. The ocean appears to be calm. Research team instructions: assist the subject in reaching his destination by any means necessary. Purpose: basic testing of the object's effects. Travel log: 2405 subject exits Site-19. Subject requests transportation to the nearest airport, as well as a ticket to the first flight to New Jersey. Request was fulfilled. 126 subject arrives at the airport. He is followed by the research sub-team of Dr. Relic, junior researcher Nicolo Gurdinel, and security personnel Maxwell Grand and Sarah Rucker. 450 subject and the research sub-team arrive in Newark, New Jersey. Subject requests motor vehicle transportation to Cape May. Request was fulfilled. 7:22 Subject and research subteam reach Cape May. Subject enters a local pet store and retrieves a 4-month-old golden retriever. Gurdinel stays behind to pay for the dog as the rest of the subteam follows subject. 7:41 Subject arrives on the beach, and proceeds to walk along the shore. Research subteam follows. 9:04 Subject stops and places the dog on the ground. Dr. Relic confirms that, with high probability, this is the location depicted in the instance of SCP-3650. Subject appears to return to normal. When asked about the dog, subject responded, "She wanted a dog, so I brought her a dog." After subject leaves the beach, Gurdinel finds the golden retriever and returns it to the pet store. Test log 05, close log, poem, upon the earth mound, old men cry out to nature, cold bites at their skin. Picture, the view from the summit of Longs Peak, Colorado, looking toward Estes Park and Estes Lake. There are no clouds, and some snow can be seen atop surrounding mountains. Research team instructions, neither assist nor hinder the subject. Purpose, testing the strength of the effect of the object. Travel log, 24:06 Subject exits Site 19 and requests transportation to the nearest airport. Subject also requests a ticket to Denver, Colorado. Both requests are denied. Subject requests food and water for 11 days. Request is fulfilled. Subject is given a parcel with food and water. Dr. Relic places a tracking device, a camera, and a microphone on the parcel. 24:11 Subject walks to Highway I-25 and follows it in the direction of Colorado. 76:31 Subject shouts obscenities at the research team. Subject had not stopped walking before this point except to rest and eat. 2:20:42 Subject encounters the research team which had flown out to Colorado to continue in-person observation of subject. 267:27 Subject and research team arrives at the base of Longs Peak. 267:54 Subject retrieves a clock from an unoccupied National Park Service building. 268:32 Subject begins to ascend Longs Peak. Dr. Relic, Junior Researcher Gurdinel, and security personnel Maxwell Grant and Sarah Rucker follow. 275:13 Gurdinel reports a feeling of lightheadedness and nausea, presumably caused by the ascent. Grant escorts Gurdinel to the base of Longs Peak. Relic and Rucker continue to follow subject. 280:37 Subject arrives at the top of Longs Peak. She places the clock on the ground and shouts, "There. Have it. I don't have much left myself." Subject appears to return to normal, and then collapse from exhaustion. 281:02 Subject regains enough strength to be escorted to the base of the mountain. When asked about the clock and her remarks at the top of the mountain, subject refused to respond. Test log 09, close log, poem, data expunge. Picture, research team instructions, lock the subject in a humanoid containment cell. The cell is to be furnished with a bed, a toilet, and nothing else. Do not release the subject. Purpose, determining the effects of SCP-3650 on subjects unable to reach the destination. Travel log, midnight subject is locked inside of humanoid containment cell 4512. Subject requests release from containment. Request denied. 24:02 Subject begs for his release. Request denied. 1:10 Subject requests food. Request fulfilled. Subject uses plate in an attempt to create a hole in the wall. 1:31 Plate breaks. Subject continues, now using a shard of the plate. 1:53 Subject no longer has shards large enough to continue digging. Subject begins pacing, possibly to relieve stress. 5:32 Subject sits down, but remains visibly distressed. Signs of distress include nervous tics, biting of nails, and tapping. 61:53 Subject is seen turning in his sleep, and heard murmuring to himself. Guards on site claim that subject said, "I just want to help," although there is no conclusive evidence of this. 84:17 Subject begins shaking. Gurdinel requests to conclude the test. Request denied. 103:45 Subject has stopped requesting food. Subject claims to no longer be hungry, but will eat when prompted. 216:30 Testing concludes. Subject's mental and physical state deteriorated from stress and anxiety since previous notes, and exhibited no other symptoms of note. Upon release, subject travels to the location depicted on the instance of SCP-3650 shown to him, and leaves a copy of the lovely bones. Subject appears relieved and calmed after completing his journey. Test log 12, close log, poem, in the cold tundra, if someone is beside me, I'll wake up smiling. Picture, the inside of one of the Shoshone Indian ice caves in Idaho. The only lighting comes from the flash on the camera. A frozen waterfall runs down the cave wall. Research team instructions: assist the subject in reaching his destination by any means necessary. Purpose: confirm that all instances work in the same manner. Travel log: 2402 Subject requests a ticket to Boise, Idaho. Request fulfilled. 134 Subject arrives at the airport. He is followed by the research sub-team of Dr. Rolick, junior researcher Nicolo Gurdinel, and security personnel Maxwell Grand and Sarah Rucker. 332 Subject and the research sub-team arrive in Boise, Idaho. Subject requests motor transportation to the Shoshone Indian ice caves. Request fulfilled. 551 Subject and the research sub-team arrive at the Shoshone Indian ice caves. Subject retrieves a commemorative knife from the souvenir store. Gurdinel stays behind to pay for the knife as Rolick, Grand, and Rucker follow Subject into one of the caves. 629 Subject stops moving for several minutes. Subject then attempts to slit his throat with the knife, though Rucker and Grand intervene. Subject is physically restrained, and his knife is confiscated. 1113 Subject is returned to the facility. Dr. Rolick concludes that Subject is no longer affected by SCP-3650. When questioned about his attempted suicide, Subject replied she appreciated the effort, even if she still feels lonely, and refused to elaborate further.